Today, we're diving into something pretty fascinating, one of the most misunderstood and, honestly, powerful states of the human mind: quietness. Ever wonder what's really happening when someone is silent? Well, you might be surprised. There's some seriously intense mental activity going on right beneath the surface. Let's get into it.
Yeah, think about it. The last time you were in a meeting or a group chat, you probably noticed someone who wasn't saying much. What was your first thought? That they were shy, bored, maybe even a little uninterested? Well, as we're about to see, those common assumptions are often completely wrong. Okay, so here's the reality behind that quiet exterior. What we see as being disengaged is actually an intense, real-time analysis of the group dynamics. What looks like shyness? That's often the brain running these complex simulations of future outcomes. And that person who seems aloof, yeah, that's the signature of some deep, focused processing going on. So it's really time to reframe our entire understanding of what quietness is. Instead of seeing, an empty mind, we should start to recognize that silence can actually be the sign of an incredibly fast and active brain.
This is the crucial point, right here. What we often misinterpret as social withdrawal is really high-level cognitive processing. The quiet person isn't checked out, they're actually profoundly checked in, just to their own internal world of analysis.
So how does this actually work? What's happening inside the brain that allows for all this incredible internal activity? Let's take a look inside the brain's inner workshop and explore the cognitive architecture that powers a quiet intellect.
All right, first up is something called predictive processing. Your brain isn't just sitting there passively taking in information. No, it's an active, future simulation engine. It's constantly making predictions based on everything it's ever learned. So for a quiet observer, this engine is running at full tilt. They're not just hearing a project pitch, they're modeling the 3 ways it could totally succeed or fail based on subtle cues everyone else is missing.
Next, we have metacognitive awareness, which is basically the ability to think about your own thinking. A quiet mind uses this to analyze its own biases, to question its own assumptions, and to really pressure test an idea before it's ever spoken out loud. It's kind of like being both the chess player and the expert analyst watching the game from above, all without saying a word.
And finally, there's the default mode network, or DMN for short. You know when your brain is at rest and you're not focused on something outside yourself? Well, that's when the DMN lights up. This is where the aha moment is born. It's linking up all these different memories and imagining totally new solutions. It's exactly why your best ideas often show up on a quiet walk or in the shower. For the quiet observer, this network just gets way more airtime.
Now, these 3 things, predictive processing, metacognition, and the default mode network, they don't work in isolation. Oh no. You should think of them as these perfectly interlocking gears of a powerful cognitive engine that processes the world with incredible depth and nuance.
So we've seen the what and the how of a quiet mind, but what does all this inner processing actually produce? Well, this brings us to the observer's superpower, the ability to turn all that quiet observation into powerful, sometimes even game-changing insights. And the path to that insight usually follows 4 key steps. First, the quiet individual just absorbs vast amounts of data, without the filter of constantly needing to speak. Second, they use all that data to run those internal simulations we talked about. Third, they're analyzing all the subtle social dynamics that others miss. And the result? That's the 4th step, generating these incredibly high-quality, well-thought-out insights that really get to the heart of the matter.
See, it's really not about the volume of your voice at all, is it? It's about the activity of your mind. A mind that is just roaring with connections and predictions and analysis might just belong to the quietest person in the room.
So let's kind of summarize what this new view of quiet really means. This isn't just some psychological curiosity. It's a fundamental shift in how we should all be perceiving intelligence and engagement.
So what should you take away from all this? First, don't mistake quiet for empty space. See it as a mind that's absolutely full of processing. Second, recognize observation for what it is, an intensely active state, not a passive one. Third, maybe start seeing silence as a powerful tool for generating much deeper understanding. And finally, never ever underestimate the quiet person. Their calm exterior might just be hiding the fastest brain in the room.
And this leaves us with a final, really important question. Our culture so often rewards the loudest voice and the quickest answer. But in a world that values speaking up so much, what's the collective cost of not listening into the profound insights being generated in the quiet? What do we miss?
That's definitely something to think about.